number of healthcare practitioners have integrated homeopathy into their practice, but its status differs from one country to the next. In this episode, we'll dive into homeopathy's evolution in Canada and around the world.
So throughout the world, I don't know, maybe hundreds of millions of people.
Approximately 10,000?
If there's about 200 million people who use it, I would imagine that 200 million people are not all idiots. Homeopathy is part of medicine. It's as if we were saying normal medicine or abnormal medicine. Homeopathy has worked for 200 years. So for 200 years, we've had clinical experience where homeopathy is part of medicine. In the US, all homeopathic medicines are regulated by the FDA and are considered as medications, as drugs, and thus these are medicines. So homeopathy is part of medicine.
Well, in my own practice, I'd say probably I prescribe homeopathy to 60% of my patients. That's increased over time. The longer I've been there, the more patients see that homeopathy works for them. But in Canada, there's approximately 3 million people who are using homeopathy. In the world, it's estimated that more than 200 million people are using homeopathy, which that's a lot of people.
L'OMS a fait des statistiques sur toutes les médecines.
Who has statistics on all complementary and alternative medicines? Homeopathy is the second complementary and alternative medicine that is most used in the world and the first in developed countries. But when doing statistics between developed countries and developing countries, it ranks second.
Si on regarde par rapport au Canada,
If we look at Canada, the laws are different from one province to the other. In some provinces, there will be professional homeopaths who provide homeopathy, while in other provinces, there are other health professionals who will use homeopathy. Also, in other provinces, there are doctors who will use it. There are physicians and non-physicians in Canada who will recommend or prescribe homeopathy.
on a des médecins puis on a des non-médecins également au Canada qui vont recommander ou prescrire l'homéopathie.
Il y a nombreuses facultés de médecine en France.
There are a number of medical schools in France who put homeopathy in their curriculum. There are even hospital departments such as oncology that have homeopaths that are working alongside them. Homeopaths and conventional medicine go perfectly hand in hand.
Professionnels sont tout à fait main dans la main.
Well, anyone can prescribe homeopathy, whether it's a naturopath, a medical doctor, or even your mother and father can prescribe it for you. You don't need to write a prescription, you can get it over the counter. So anyone can go and get homeopathic medicines, and it's important that we have access to that for Canadians because it's very important medicine. It can treat a lot of diseases and illnesses and even symptoms alone. So having access to that for the general public and for the professionals to be able to supply through their pharmacy is a very important issue.
L'homéopathie est utilisée aussi.
Homeopathy is also used, in fact integrated in many worldwide health systems. We have France, Germany, Belgium, Norway. There are also South American countries such as Mexico, Chile, Colombia, and Cuba. There is India, South Africa, and one of the last countries to have incorporated it is Switzerland, because Switzerland commissioned a report on the effectiveness of homeopathy. The report was successful, so they decided to include it. If we stick to our perception, we are mistaken, because the last survey from the Fraser Institute in 2016 shows that between 1996, 2006, and 2016, there was actually an increase in demand for homeopathic products, but also for homeopathic consulting services. So despite all that we can say about homeopathy, what we see is that people are increasingly asking for it.
Ce qu'on voit, c'est qu'au fond, les gens en demandent encore plus.